Merci.
Eric believes that in this country, one of the least developed in the world, there are various opportunities for success. You just need to dare to take a leap and get started.
Nous avons vu beaucoup de gens venir au Congo, aller là où c'est difficile, là où il n'y a rien, et s'en sortir. Et pourquoi pas moi? Voilà, le Congo c'est ça. Le Congo, le matin tu peux te réveiller pauvre, le lendemain tu deviens riche parce que tu as travaillé.
Inspired by the boldness and success of entrepreneurs like Eric, more and more Congolese people are throwing themselves into the world of business in a hope to escape poverty. And this dream motivates thousands of women in Kinshasa every day. They come at 4 a.m. from all parts of the city to stock up on bread from this wholesaler. They buy whatever they can to make a living that day. Marie comes here every day for the 6 a.m. batch. Marie was widowed 6 months ago and therefore has the huge responsibility of bringing enough home to feed her whole family. Marie is carrying more than 15 kilograms of goods on her head. She sets up her stall in a strategic location every day, which will get her the most clients.
Merci beaucoup. Bon, naye aussi m'a dit papa maman parce que elle est à ming, elle a la propriété pour naye na comme liboso na mesa naye.
Thanks to her smile and her kindness, Marie usually attracts a lot of customers. Marie earns £50 per day thanks to this little stand. She believes in her business and dreams of opening other stands like this one. She even allows herself to imagine making a fortune. But there's still a long way to go because Marie's net profit for a day's work is just £15. And a third of this sum needs to go towards renting a small apartment with a kitchen on the landing.
Ça c'est les fumbois. Je vais mettre la moine, après j'ai mis les ail, les pupilles, les oignons et les ndembi.
Inside, there is a single room which is used as a bedroom and living room for Marie and her daughter. Sarah is the youngest of her 5 children.
Ça c'est Déborah avec Israël. Donc ils ont le bassin avec Isabelle d'État. Il y a souka 4 jours.
With a salary higher than £350 per month, Marie could live in a bigger apartment. But she would rather save money on her housing in order to fund her children's studies.
Mais je me lance au foot à la classe. Tant que je vais présenter avec Israël Israël Déborah, je vais aller à Moko. Ce que foot à me faire là, je vais aller. Après moi aussi à moi aussi. Marjorie. Ce qu'on a baillé à Joséphine à Jordi. Dans un Moko. Si on a dit qu'on a baillé pendant une salle.
Their schooling costs her £25 per month, but it will give them the tools they need to encourage them to dream big too. Like 90% of Congolese people, Marie and her daughter Sarah are Christians. They follow the evangelical denomination. The shopkeeper visits a temple 3 times a week. She thanks God for having spared her from poverty.
nzambe aza important makasi mpo na nga na bana na nga mpa soki ye tembe nazovivre boye tembe nazopema te.
Evangelical churches thrive in the Congo, much like in many other African countries, and by exploiting the Congolese people's strong faith and sometimes their naivety, some religious leaders have become millionaires. This Sunday morning in Kinshasa, all of the city's usually very busy main streets are strangely deserted. Since dawn, tens of thousands of people have been heading towards the largest stadium in Central Africa. "80,000 attendees are not there for a football match or a huge concert. They have come to hear a speech from a man who sells a juice which supposedly has extraordinary powers."
Devant la morgue, j'ai pris un verre de jus, et le ventre qui était comme ça, verdâtre, ça s'est abaissé directement. Je suis témoin vivant, il est prophète, il est prophète.
There are cameramen, photographers, cheerleaders, policemen on alert. It's the biggest event of the year. It is also being broadcast live on television. The star everyone is waiting for is called the Prophet. He lives a few kilometers away from the stadium. We find him at his home, where his escort is already ready and dressed impeccably. His bodyguards are also his disciples.
Le prophète Conde, il est vraiment un homme de Dieu, un envoyé de Dieu. Il fait tout ce que Jésus a fait. Le prophète Conde fait aussi ça. Donc, il est vraiment homme de Dieu. C'est notre prophète et c'est Dieu qui nous a envoyés ici dans notre pays.
The Prophet Conde is this man with a floral shirt. Dominique, his first name, created a Christian church in the Congo, which has 5 million followers. It is a success story that could make people jealous. Dominique Conde says that he regularly receives death threats.
J'ai subi aussi beaucoup de problèmes, de menaces à mort tout le temps.
Des menaces de mort?
Oui, même en Angola, il y a des criminels qui sont entrés pour venir m'abattre. Ils sont entrés avec des pistolets.
In his living room, the so-called prophet is proud to show us his dozens of diplomas. He is recognized as a scientist, a scholar, and a universal minister of peace. He also received the Medal of Civic Merit from the ex-president Joseph Kabila. He also has a peculiar diploma on display which has the European flag on it, congratulating him for having introduced the juice which delivers and saves.
Vous êtes un docteur. Vous êtes un docteur.
Bon, tout cela, ça peut venir, on peut vous appeler, on peut vous donner beaucoup de titres, mais un jour viendra, on ne serait plus.
The prophet doesn't really respond to the question, but this supposedly miraculous juice has made him a fortune, and perhaps that of his church as well. His first clients are these many loyal followers. It is 2 o'clock. Dominique Conde, surrounded by his armed bodyguards, leaves for the stadium.
Mais on est là tout simplement pour essayer de remonter ceux qui sont faibles, de conseiller, de prodiguer des conseils à ceux qui sont dépourvus de moyens, dépourvus d'essence pour qu'ils puissent vivre, même dans la disette, mais avec beaucoup d'aisance.
Upon arrival, the man is greeted by a cheering crowd. Before going on stage, Dominique Conde greets Bruno Tshibala in the crowd, the country's prime minister. After prayers and hymns, the prophet reads his sermon. It is a call for everyone to keep faith in the future.
depuis Congo, et pour nous regarder, pour ensemble la bino, pour royauté, pour la prospérité, pour l'abondance, pour la boufoulougaté, même la disette, même la zala, même la rosala, mais pourvu que vous avez la vérité et la vérité pour vous affranchir. Amen, Bota. Vous n'ayez peur de rien, parce que Amen.
The apparent prophet is a clever man. He does not sell his miraculous juice in public places like this stadium. He dispenses it more discreetly in small parishes scattered around the country. It is thanks to this network that he has already raked in millions of pounds. A few days later, Dominique Condé holds an open session in Mateta, in the suburbs of Kinshasa. There are already more than 100 people waiting on the pavement in front of the entrance for a consultation. At 11 o'clock, Dominique Condé arrives in his large 4x4 worth several thousand pounds.
Amen. Merci.
All of his followers have come for his supposedly magical remedy. But before being allowed to get it, you must go to the cash register and make a small donation. Dominique Condé meets a long line of ill people. This woman suffered a brain hemorrhage a year ago.
C'est vrai que pour avoir appliqué le pétrole, pour masser, c'est le massage, le pétrole, le cocotier comme elle. Et ça peut lui apporter beaucoup de solutions.
Consultations often only last a few seconds. The prescription is always the same. Once they've received a prescription, the ill people are directed towards the room next door, which is the pharmacy. This is where you find the famous juice. It is sold in small used water bottles. The followers are convinced that it makes miracles happen.
Ça guérit même le sida, même l'estomac, cancer de foie, même cirrhose de foie, donc beaucoup de maladies. J'ai été la maladie de sida, j'ai pesé 14 kilos, mais maintenant j'ai pesé 52 kilos, maladie de sida grâce au J du prophète qu'on appelle Dominique, la journée.
It's a promise with no scientific foundation, which can be a dangerous message for ill people. It costs over £10 for just 500 milliliters of the juice. It's a huge sum, which equates to half of the average salary. As a result, the poorest patients share the costs.
On peut mélanger quand on a peu de moyens, 2 personnes, 3 personnes par exemple, nous avons mélangé 3 personnes, on va partager.
The room is letting off a strong smell of petrol.
Il y a du citron, il y a du pétrole, il y a beaucoup de mélanges que vous ne connaissez pas.
The juice is packed on site. The demand is so high that Dominique Condé will soon have to begin industrial production. He has just received the new packaging.
Voilà les cartons de jus que nous avons.
It mentions on the packaging that it cures diseases such as epilepsy, cancer, and even AIDS. How does it have so much power? If he could explain, it would provide a divine inspiration. But when we ask Dominique Condé to read to us what is written on the box, he avoids reading the word AIDS.
Ces produits traitent des maladies d'origine naturelle ou mystérieuse, telles que l'épilepsie, cancer, etc.
Il y a écrit que ça guérit du sida, mais vous n'avez pas dit.
Du sida, non. Je n'ai pas souvent fait mention de cette maladie.
In the Congo, around 400,000 people are infected with AIDS. Another false statement that the prophet gives is that his juice supposedly resurrects dead children.
Ces produits, il y a des gens qui donnent même des morts-nés. On applique le jus, on met dans la bouche le mort-né. Ils reviennent à la vie, les morts-nés.
While we are in his office, his assistants count and stack banknotes. This scammer sells tens of thousands of bottles every year and doesn't ever worry about getting caught.